Hello mathematicians, puzzlers, and other curious people. In this video we're looking at from the Math 0325 review for the second test, the question on dot plots. So this question says the dot plots above represent the grades my students made on the last homework assignment. Now, this isn't me that wrote it, so this actually isn't my two groups of students. I think it would be either Mr. Geist or Ms. Scott who collected this data and made this review guide. I'm not exactly sure which one of them did. They work together on a lot of things, but that's where that would have come from. Not me, as in me personally. So we have two dot plots, one for class 1 and one for class 2, and we have a few questions about each. So in class 1, what was the mode? And what was the mode for class 2? So for class 1, I'm looking at this top dot plot here, and the mode is going to be whichever number has the most data elements at it, and each dot is one data element. So this here shows that 2 students made an 82, 3 students made an 84, etc. Now what about this dot right here that's not above a written number? Well, I notice it's between a 92 and a 94, so I guess this means one student made a 93. Now, if those numbers were further apart, like 95 and 100, I would have to try to estimate, based on how far over the dot was, what that number might be. But in this case, there's only one possibility since everything seems to be rounded to integers, so we don't have to estimate. So the nice thing about trying to find the mode on a dot plot is all you have to do is look for the tallest stack of dots. And I see that that is this stack of dots right here above the 86. So in class 1, the mode was 86. Now in class 2, we'll do the same thing. And I see the tallest stack of dots right here. So in class 2, the mode was 90. So the most common score was a little higher in class 2 than in class 1. Now you can't always tell how two classes are comparing from that though, because sometimes the mode is the mode kind of by coincidence. So let's investigate a little bit further. So this next question asks, what was the range for class 1? Now, you might remember this from a video that you may have seen shortly before this, but in case you're watching out of order or didn't watch that one, I'm just going to remind everyone that range is the maximum minus the minimum. So for class 1, we'll look for the maximum, and that's the greatest number that has a dot, so 98. Minus the minimum, so that'll be the smallest number that has a dot, so 82. Well then 98 minus 82 would be 16. So the range for class 1 was 16, and then for class 2. Okay, so let's see. The maximum was 100, and then the minimum, well the furthest to the left dot is not actually above a number, but I see it's a step over from 82, so I'm going to read that as 81. So then 100 minus 81 would be 19. So the range for class 2 was 19. So that's interesting. The class 2 students spread out across a wider range of scores. Not that much wider, but a little bit wider. And they spread out in both directions, because some of the class 2 students did better than anybody in class 1. But then one of the class 2 students did worse than anybody in class 1, so that's interesting. Now, another thing we often want to know is how many got an A, right? That's one of the common questions in looking afterwards at certainly test data, but also homework data, because it's nice to get an A, right? Well, when we say getting an A, we usually mean made a 90 or higher. So we'll be looking at the scores that are at least 90. This is including 90. So when we say made a 90 or higher, this will be score is higher or equal to 90. So that would be these students here. How many? Okay, well that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 students. Now how about class 2? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 students in class 2 got an A on that assignment. So it does look like class 2 might be doing a bit better than class 1. And there could be different reasons why this is happening. Maybe class 1 is early in the morning and the students aren't quite as awake yet. Maybe class 2 just has students in it by coincidence who are more serious. Maybe because there's another class that they needed that is at the same time as class 1 because of their major. Or I don't know why. But it does look like there's a difference in performance between these two classes. So some of those things are things teachers think about to try to figure out why some students are doing better than others and to see if there's anything that can be done to help them out. And teachers actually do look at scores to compare things like this too. But so that is how you read a dot plot and how you use a dot plot to find the mode and the range and percents in particular subranges.